Okay. Hello, everyone. I believe the stream should be live now. Yes, let's have a look if the stream is working. And yes, it is. Great. All right. So, hello, everyone. I see that Sagar has said tic tac toe. Yes, Sagar, today we will be building tic tac toe. And let's see how many of you guys do we have waiting. So, right now we have around, let's see how many people are watching. Okay. So, around 15-20 people we have already. That's amazing. All right. Hello, everyone. So leave a hi in the chat so that I know that you guys are here and you guys are ready to get started. Yes? Let's see. Can I get a hi from everyone in the chats? Okay. Um, Great. Yes. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Ahmed. Hello, Deepa. All right. Good. Good to have all of you guys here. Good afternoon, guys. And let me just introduce myself and then we'll get started with the class. Right. So, firstly, again, thanks for joining everyone. And hello, good afternoon. I'm Avi Vashishta, and I'm an instructor at AccioJob and also an SD at AccioJob. And if you want to know more about what AccioJob is, you guys can definitely visit our website, right? Obviously. And AccioJob is basically an IIT Delhi startup which allows you to change or get into a tech career of your choice, right? As of right now, we just have three tracks that you can choose from. You can become a full Java full stack developer or a MERN full stack developer, or you can join the data analytics track, right? We have two models. We have pay after placement and we have semi pay after placement. And what does that mean? Pay after placement basically means that you join AccioJob, you give a test and you get enrolled, and then you pay your tuition fees after you get after you get placed, right? So that's basically an ideal case scenario, right? Other than that, we have a semi pay after placement, which basically means that you guys can join AccioJob, and when you join AccioJob, you will be asked to pay the tuition fees, and if you continue with us and get placed with us, then obviously it's a totally different route. All right. And yeah, and we keep having these master classes every Sunday, right? So in fact, we had one last Sunday as well. If you go visit our YouTube channel, you'll see that inside the live sessions, you'll see that last week we built Pac-Man game. Before that, we built our Flappy Bird game. And before that, a few months back, we had built, personal websites, Mario games, and a lot of different projects we keep building, right? If you want to see more projects that I have built or other instructors at AccioJob have built, you can just go to this playlist and obviously in the AccioJobs channel, and you guys can have a look at the different projects that we have built, right? And throughout these sessions, guys, you will be getting certificates. So in today's class also, today's class will be from, obviously it starts from 12 p.m. It'll go till 1:30 p.m. And you guys will be getting the certificates. So I would want all of you guys to stay till the end, right? So you guys don't have to code along with me. I'll be providing the code to you guys. I'll be showing you guys what we'll be building. I'll be giving you guys the notes. All you need to do is just sit with me for 1.5 hour and build tic tac toe game with me, right? And you guys will definitely get the certificates along the way as well, right? So can I have a plus one from everyone? And let's get started, right? Let me show you guys what we'll be building. Correct? Can I get a plus one or a yes or an excited in the chats? So what we'll do is we'll keep the chats very interactive because I don't want this session to become boring, right? If it becomes boring for you guys, it also becomes boring for me. So what I would want is I would want anyone, Sonia, Deepa, Latif, Sagar, any one of you guys just to say plus one or a yes. See, thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Latif. It really means a lot that you guys are keeping the chats live. So just keep the chats live, and that's all I expect from you guys, right? In fact, go ahead, guys. Go bring your snacks as well. Get some chips or get some snacks. Eat snacks while watching this lecture. But just pay attention in the class and just keep writing yes or no, or if you want me to repeat, or just ask any doubts that you have. That is all that I want from you guys, right? Because again, we just have 1.5 hour, and I don't really expect you guys to code along with me, right? All I want you to do is just look at my screen, watch me code, understand the logic. See, the code I'm anyways providing you guys. All I want you to do is basically understand the logic. All right. So let's get started. Yes? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ritu. Thank you so much, Deepak. Thank you so much, Dipankar. Right? Sonia, Hiram, Krishna. Right? Really good to have all of you guys here. Yes? Let's get started. And by the way, guys, one more thing: if you guys ever have any doubts regarding what career you should opt for, or what, if you have any career related doubt, or what, what field is the best for you, or how do you become a web developer, or anything, right? We will be floating a link for the one-on-one counseling sessions that is completely free. So I believe you guys can even send your queries over there, and you guys will get a revert back, right? So as you guys can see in the chats right now, there's the book one-on-one free counseling session, right? So just go to that link, fill that form, and you can book a one-on-one free counseling session, right? If you want to know more about or if you just have any concerns regarding your career. All right. All right. Anyways, so let's get started. First things first, if you go to the YouTube live video only, obviously you guys are watching this on YouTube live. So over here in the descriptions, you guys will see that I have attached the notes, right? So in the descriptions, we already have the notes. Just click on this link and this will take you to the notes which are over here, right? In this link, I've attached the GitHub link, right? The GitHub link is basically the link for the code. All of the code will be there on GitHub. This is the deployed link. This is what we'll be building today. And this is the step-by-step guide. As you guys can see, I have given you a complete guide from the structure of the code, the styling of the code, the basic structure or the layout of the code, and then each and every component I've given you, right? How to make the start screen, how to make the game board, how to make the end screen, the styling for everything, right? Each and every component styling, then the JavaScript part of each and everything, right? So we'll basically be referring to these notes itself, right? Again, I'll be coding along with you, but what I'll be doing is I won't be coding from scratch. I'll be explaining every code, every bit of code, and that's about it, right? And yes, so first let me just show you guys what we'll be building. So the game that we'll be building is this tic-tac-toe game, right? If you go over here on this link, if you go, you'll be taken to this page, right? So this is what the entry screen looks like, or the starting screen looks like. Over here, I'll put in my name, and let's say I put in who was the first person to text in the chat? Sagar. Is Sagar here? Or let's do Sonia, right? So Sonia, okay. So we have over here tic-tac-toe game, and we have two people, so player one and player two. As soon as I click on start game, the game starts. Now you guys need to know what are the rules of the tic-tac-toe game before making the game. The rule says that the first player gets the X sign and the second player gets the O sign, right? So this is something that you need to remember, that always the X character of the person, or the X character will go first, right? So now it's my turn. That means I can choose any of these boxes. All right, I can choose any of these boxes, and over here that will be my turn. So let's say I want to put X over here. So I do that, and X is now over here. Now, automatically it becomes Sonia's turn. Now, Sonia can choose any box, right? Let's say this box. Then again, Avi's turn is here. So let's say Avi chooses this box. Then again, Sonia's turn. So let's say if Sonia doesn't see that, this pattern is being built, and Sonia decides to make her own pattern. So over here, we have these two and we have this. So now, technically, if I put in X over here, I should win, right? So if I put in X, I do win. Winner is Avi. Correct? Great. And then you see the button to play again. And when I click on play again, you can see that we are playing again. Right? Now we can start the game again. And again, it's Avi's turn first. So let's say, we play the game again continuously. Now over here again, you need to understand that now let's say Sonia blocks this move. Right? So the pattern couldn't be built. But now if you quickly have a look, the only pattern that can be built is this one. Let's say I ignore this. I don't see that this is a pattern. So now Sonia blocks this as well. Right? Now the only choice I have is of this one. And the moment I do this, nobody really won, right? It's game drawn. The game is in a draw. Nobody won. So then we have to choose this also. So basically, guys, you need to understand two things. Before making the game, you guys need to understand how are we going to build the game, right? So for that, you need to understand the logic behind that. So have a look at this. So the first step, right? First step will be to start the game. The second step will be the main game, right? Play game. And the third step is basically ending the game. So these are the three things that you need to take care of. Starting the game is easy, ending the game is easy. Playing is the part where the main logic is, right? Now, when you're playing, you need to understand that there are a lot of things you need to take into account for. You need to take into account for that how will a person win? A person will win when this pattern is made, or this pattern is made, or this pattern is made, right? So basically a person will win either, let's say it is x over here, right? Then a person will win, or a person will win when over here you have the same thing, right? Or the person will win when, let's say, over here you have the same thing, or over here you have the same thing. So you need to realize that there are a lot of patterns that can be built, and you need to make your logic understand that what are the patterns. The patterns can be vertically, right? So these becomes three patterns. So three vertical patterns you have, correct? Then you have three horizontal patterns, correct? So you have plus three horizontal patterns, right? Horizontal. Then you also have diagonal patterns. If my pattern is this, then also I have one. And if my pattern is this, then also I have one, right? So then you have two diagonal patterns, you can say. So at the end of the day, 3 plus 3 plus 2, which is 6 plus 2, 8. So there are 8 ways by which a person can win this game, right? And when none of these patterns are built, right? When there is a pattern which is out of these 8, right? Something like this, let's say. This is not a pattern, correct? Or you can say this. This is not a pattern. You need to understand that the pattern needs to be these 8 patterns only that we have identified, right, guys? And if the pattern is out of these 8, then we can declare a winner. Else, if the pattern is not in these 8, then it is a draw. And it is also only a draw when all the turns are being done, right? Look at this. When I'm playing this, I need to make this into a draw, right? Okay, so this will be a draw now. Look at this. Till now, it's not a draw. It becomes a draw only when all of the entire boxes are filled, right? So technically, you need to understand that the game will be drawn, or the game becomes draw only when all of the things are being, just a second. Yes, the game technically ends up in a draw only when the game technically ends, right? Yes, so you will get a certificate after this session, right? So basically, you need to stick to the end. I don't want people to just get the certificates and leaving, right? Obviously, I want you guys to learn also. So you guys, this session is going to go from 12 till 1:30. So around 1 p.m., I'll float a link where you guys can get your certificates. All right. So guys, first tell me how many of you guys have understood what we are building today, right? I'll tell you guys how the entire game is, how we'll be building the game. But is the logic clear to everyone? See, the game is filled with a lot of logic for, something which is supposed to be very simple. There's actually a lot of logic. And I'll tell you why. So, look at the logic, right? The first step is understanding how the game is starting. You have player 1 and you have player 2. And your player 1 will get X as the character and player 2 will get O as the character. So, this is the first logic that you will write. This is the first set of logic. Okay. Yes, Sonia, obviously you can leave the session, right? Don't worry if your network is glitching out. This YouTube video will be there forever and ever. Just come back to AccioJob's YouTube channel and then you'll be able to see it. All right. I hope you genuinely do see this. And if you want, yeah, I do really hope that you do see it. All right. Anyways. So, okay, this is the first logic. Correct, guys? What is the second logic? The second logic is as soon as somebody writes some name, right? Let's take the name of Krishna because Krishna is really interactive. So let's say Avi and Krishna are playing this game, right? Or let's say Pavan and Krishna are playing this game. So when the game starts, now you need to understand that Pavan was player 1. So player 1's turn is first, right? Now the moment Pavan plays his turn, Krishna's turn gets open, right? Now Krishna gets to play. So basically, guys, the what is the second logic? The second logic is that once the game has started, it will first be first player's turn, right? So P1's turn, player one's turn, player one turns. Now, how will player one take their turn, right? How will that person, play? So they need to click on these boxes, right? So there's a logic for clicking. So the moment you click a particular box, that box gets occupied with that person's character. So let's say if I click this box will become X. If I click this box will become O. Right? So this is the second logic. And you need to toggle between players. One player one's turn is done, then it's player two's turn. Player two's turn is done, then it's player three's turn. Then X, then 0, then X, then 0. Yes? Are you guys agreeing with this? And every time any person plays their turn, you need to check if the pattern is built or not. Because see, look at this. Let's say this is the situation right now, right? You need to understand that, let's say Pavan does this, then who was the other player? Krishna does this, right? Now it's Pavan's turn. If Pavan does this again, right? So technically what happens is this pattern is done, and the moment a pattern is done, you will be saying game over and Pavan has won, right? So what you need to do is you need to understand that after every turn, let's say Pavan has played their chance, then Krishna has played their chance, then Pavan has played the chance. So basically after every chance that has been played, you need to check that is there a pattern being formed. Because the moment there is a pattern, right, the moment Pavan does this, Krishna won't get a chance to correct his mistake, right? It's first come first serve. So the moment any pattern is made, the game will be over, right? And when will the game be drawn? When, let's say, all of the patterns are done, all of the boxes are filled, and there is no pattern. So if there is no pattern, only then will game will be only then the game will be drawn, because then technically what you're doing is you're out of chances, right? The board has been filled. So technically when everyone has played their chance and when the entire board has finished, only then will my game will be over, right? Only then will the game be over. Correct. Now, another issue is that you need to also count for the fact that when let's say Pavan has played their chance over here and Krishna has done this over here. Now, Pavan cannot put an X over here. It's not like Pavan can say that, you know what, Krishna, get rid of your O and I'll put an X over here. That should also not be possible. So basically, you need to also count for the fact that you will not overwrite another cell. So only empty cells can be written. You cannot overwrite, right? Pavan cannot say that, okay, now let's say Pavan did this. Now, Krishna will not say that, Krishna, Pavan, get rid of this, of your X, and let me put my O. This cannot be done. Once a turn has been played, it has been played, right? Once a cell, this is a cell, once a cell has been occupied, it's occupied. Yes, guys, does everyone agree? So I think with that, we're covering the entire logic of the game. Yes, so basically now whatever we have learned, whatever I've spoken in the last 15 minutes, that is what we need to build. Yes, is everyone with me? Great. Okay. Uh, Chandrabhan is saying, where is the certificate link? So Chandrabhan, you'll get the certificate links around 1 p.m. Right? I'll be floating the certificate links around 1:20 p.m. guys. Towards the end, you will get the certificate. You won't be getting in the beginning because then everyone will leave. Right? I understand that. I want you guys to at least stay and learn something, and only then it makes sense for us to give a certificate. Yes? Okay. All right. So let's continue. Let's start building this game. So who all are ready to build this game? Leave a +1 if you guys are ready to build the game. Yes, I think everyone has understood how we are going to build this. Okay, great. So Sonia is also back. Good job, Sonia. And let's begin. So you guys need to understand that to build any website, you need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is the structure of your entire website. CSS is the beautification part, right? And JS is your logic. Okay. HTML is the structure, CSS is the beautification, JS is the logic. And combining these three, today we'll be making the Tic Tac Toe game. All right. Now, first tell me how many of you guys know the basics of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Please tell me how many of you guys are inside AccioJob already. How many of you guys are complete beginners? How many of you know F1? You've done F1 module, F2 module, right? So basically, all you need to know is the basics of HTML, basics of CSS, and very minimal JavaScript, right? So I can see that you guys are leaving a +1. So how many of you guys know the basic stuff, right? Or should I start from, okay, Sonia says only HTML. Don't worry, Sonia, I'll teach a little bit of CSS also then, right? but most of you guys know what is happening, right? Okay, done F1, all right. So most of you guys know a little HTML, CSS, but don't know JavaScript. But some of you guys know a little bit of JavaScript too. Great, great. Okay. So guys, I'll be telling you everything from scratch. In fact, we'll be focusing more on JavaScript part only, right? So let me just quickly get done with the HTML part, right? At least you guys know that how to build a website. The first step is to build a folder, right? Let me call this folder as Tic Tac Toe YouTube, right? So this is a folder. What I'll do is I'll open my VS Code, correct? Inside my VS Code, I'm going to open that folder. So I have my VS Code over here. I'll click on open and now I'll be opening my tic-tac-toe YouTube folder, right? This folder is empty. Obviously, I'll be needing an index.html, right? I'll be needing a style.css and I'll be needing a script.js. Okay. So I've made my three files. Do you guys know that how to do this? I think this everyone knows, right? Everyone knows how to use VS Code. Everyone knows how to build files. Because see, guys, I'm used to teaching complete beginners. So even if we have a complete beginner over here, please let me know because I'll even keep that guy or that person along with us, right, on this journey. So I think everyone knows how to use VS Code. Yes, everyone knows what the basic structure of HTML looks like. So if I build the boiler code, if I get the boilerplate code over here, you guys know that this is how the HTML is structured, right? If I want to link my style sheet, I'll link it this way. I'll say dot slash style.css. The title will be tic tac to YouTube. Yes, then my body will contain a script tag, and this script tag is basically how I'll be linking my script.js, right? So to do that, just say dot slash script.js. And now once I do this, I can run my live server. So when I run my live server over here, you can see that my HTML is working. I think this much everybody knows, correct? How to run the basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript file. Yes? Okay, awesome. Great. Great to know that. All right. So first, let's look at this structure. So you need to understand that what we'll do is we'll have three things. Okay. In the sense of the structure, we will have three things. The first structure, let me change my color. The first structure is this, the starting game. This is nothing but it's a div. It contains a heading and it contains two inputs and a button. Very simple component, right? A simple div, it contains a heading, it contains two inputs and it contains a button. Correct? Everyone is with me? I think this much also everyone knows. So let's quickly make this. How will we make this? Again, we'll go to a Brave browser over here. I have attached the code. So you guys will see that this is the container for my starting game. We'll have three containers. First will be for my starting game. Second will be the main game board. And the third will be the game end. So this is the game start. I start the game. This is the game board. And then if I, let's say, end the game, right? This is the game ending, right? So we have three divs. We have game start, game board, and game end. So you guys can directly copy this code if you want to, right? So let's just go ahead and copy this code. Again, guys, where will you get these notes from? Where are you getting these notes from? From the YouTube live, right? So go to the YouTube live, the live that you guys are watching right now. Again, in the description over here, you will see that I have attached the notes. So all of the code you have, right? If you don't want to use this code, you guys can directly use the code that has been there in the GitHub. So just open this GitHub repo and over here you'll see that you'll get the entire index.html file. You'll get the entire styles.css and you'll get the entire script.js. Okay. And as you guys can see, the code is not that big. It's just 80 lines of script, 80 some 100 lines of maybe not even 100, 50 lines of HTML and another 50, 100 lines of styling, right? Very, very basic, 200, 300 lines of code. That's it. Okay. So again, let's just go. So over here, what we have done now is that I have game start, I have my game board and I have my game end. Now inside the start, what did I need? Inside my starting, I needed a heading, I needed an input and I needed another input and I needed the button, right? So obviously let's go over here. I won't be explaining the HTML part, in a very deep manner. I think everybody knows that. So this is the code for the HTML. It has one heading, it has two inputs, and it has another button. All right. So you guys can just as it is use this. You guys can just as it is use this, and you will be good. Okay. So this will give us my heading. This will give us our inputs, and this will give us our start game button. Right. Now let's talk about the logic of this start game. So you guys need to understand that as soon as I click this start game button, I need to get rid of that start game div and I need to show this div, right? So how do we do that? We do that using JavaScript. Basically what I'll say is in my script, I'll write a code which will say that whenever this function is called, see, whenever this button is clicked, there's a function called start game which is called. So what I can do is I can just say function start game, and over here I can console anything, right? Look at this. Game is starting. Okay. So now what will happen is that this is a function that I've written, start game, that game is starting. Now, whenever I click this button, there's a function on click. So button on click. So on click of this button, the start game function is being called. And whenever the start game is happening, what do we need to do? Right? Look at this. Now, whenever I click on the start game, you'll see that the game is starting, right? Look at this. In my console, I'm seeing that the game is starting. Correct. So basically, whenever the game is starting, what I need to do is I just need to basically get rid of this div and show the game board, right? How does the game board look like? Again, for now, let the game board just have something like this. Just say something like game board, right? So basically, what I need to do is I need to, whenever I click on this, I need to show the game board, and I need to don't show this restart, don't show the start, just the game board. Yes. So basically, you will be using DOM manipulation for that, right? What I'll do is I'll quickly get the grid as well, and I'll quickly get the last container as well, right? Again, basic HTML. So game board is nothing but your game board will have a grid. Does everyone know what an HTML CSS grid looks like? This is a grid. This is a 3 by 3 grid. It has 3 rows and 3 columns. All right. So this is a 3 by 3 grid. So inside this div, what do I have? Inside my game board, let's have a look at what do I have. Inside the game board, I obviously have a main div, right? I have another heading or some content or some text. Then this is my grid, right? And this grid has 9 elements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this grid has 9 cells. And then you have one button. Yes? Please tell me if this is good. Are you guys understanding? Yes? Okay. Okay, great. So we have 9 cells, and over here we have a button, right? So basically, what will my grid contain? My grid will contain nothing but, look at this. My grid will contain nothing but, my game will contain nothing but it's this. Have a look at this. So this is my game board, right? It has a player turn for the text. So this will be the text. This will be my grid. Now this grid will contain 9 cells. So look at this. These cells are starting from 0 and they're going till 8. So I need to have 9 plus things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'll tell you why we are doing this. 8. And total these become 9, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are my 9 cells, and every cell has an on click, because I told you whenever I click a cell, I need to do something. Yes, whenever I click a cell, I need to do something. Okay, so this is what I do. Now you need to understand. Let's quickly write the game end HTML as well. What will the game end contain? Look at this. So whenever I'm ending the game, okay, the game is done, right? Whenever I'm ending the game, what do I see? Whenever I'm ending the game, again, I see something very, very simple. First, you need to understand that I see an overlay, right? Then I see a white div. Inside this white div, I have a text and I have a button. That's it. So basically, one div for overlay, one div for my container, one for my text, and then my button. Yes. So again, this is also very simple. So this will basically contain one div as my overlay, one div as my white container, text, and then button. Right? Okay. So with this, our entire HTML part is done. This was just our HTML part. Yes. So basically, we have three containers. Right? The first container we have, it will contain one heading and two inputs and one button. The second container we have will contain one heading, one grid, and one button to restart the game. The third div will have one overlay. In that overlay, we have white div, and inside the white div, we have a heading and another button. And these three are the only HTML components I need. Has everyone understood this much? Right? Okay. Now again, for the CSS part, I won't be explaining CSS because you guys know how to deal with CSS, right? So I've attached the CSS as well. You can have a look at what styling I've given to the body, what styling I've given to my inputs, what styling I've given to my buttons, what styling I've given to the game board, right? What styling I've given to my cells. Everything is there, right? So for now, I'll just directly copy paste the entire CSS because again, I know most of you guys know CSS, so I won't really go into the depths of CSS, right? Basically, you need to understand that this is how your game will start looking then, right? Currently it looks like this. Why? Because I have everything, right? What I'll do is maybe I will get rid of let's say this, and I will get rid of this. If I get rid of this, we see this, right? uh, Something is wrong because this is not taking the entire. Just a second. Hmm, maybe I have some classes wrong or something wrong. Input group. This is nice. Where did my input go? Let's just do it as 100%. I think that'll be better. Yes, all right. And I'll just make this as the same thing. Calc. Hmm. What is wrong with calc? Just a second, guys. Maybe I'm missing out on something. All right. I think now this will be fine. And no, for some reason this input is still not cooperating. Anyways, we'll fix this input in a second. Don't worry. All right. Okay. So this is how our start game screen looks like. Right. Now we'll be talking about the logic. Right. So first step is how do we start the game? Okay. Firstly, I would want a plus one from everyone to just see that everyone is still here with me. Right. Are you guys still here with me? Let's talk about the functionality now. Yes. Okay. Don't worry about the styling. We'll fix the styling later on. All right. Let's work on the main code. Okay. Let's talk about how are we going to start the game now. So you need to understand the logic firstly, right? So what is the logic to start the game? The logic is very simple. Okay. The logic is that look at this. The logic is that you have one input. This input is for your player one. You have another input for your player two. Now you technically know that player one is always X, player two is always O. So the only thing you're saving is the name. All right, you're technically saving just the name. Okay. Whenever you click on start game, what you need to do is you first need to make sure that your grid is there and your grid is empty. You need to make sure that grid is empty. You need to make sure that these two are stored somewhere. So we will have one player one object, or we'll have one player's object. And in that object, I'll say player one and I'll say player two. All right. So we'll have two players. We'll have an empty grid, and we will have a variable to say that has the game started or is the game going on. Right. So we'll basically have a flag which will be true or false. And this true or false is just to say that game over or not. If the game is not over, we can play. If the game is over, then the game is over. So we need one true and false object to maintain that has the game finished or not. All right. So basically, whenever we are starting the game, we'll first take player one, player two. Then we'll first make sure that whenever the user clicks on this, we need to get rid of this div also, right? So we need to get rid of this div. We need to show our game board. Correct? When we show our game board, we need to make sure that the game board is empty. We need to make sure that a flag is true that the game has started. All right. So for that, basically, has everyone understood this? First, tell me, has everyone understood the logic for start game? So we'll make one function to start game, right? Yes, Shriyosh, yes, Sonia, yes, Krishna, Bhavani. Is everyone with me? Great, awesome. So basically, before we get started with the start game function, I need to initialize all the variable values. So look at this. I will have these values as the initial values that I need for my function code to run. Right? I will need a current player. That what is the current player? Is it X? Is it O? Whatever. Who is playing? Game active. Is the game running or not? Now game state. This is an array. So basically, what we'll do is we won't deal with our grid as a 2D array. Okay, we won't deal with our grid as a 2D array. We'll deal with it as a single array. This is my grid. All right, this is my grid. What I will do is instead of calling this as a 2D array, I'll just make it a singular array and I'll say this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will give it this nomenclature. That is why if you have a look at this in my index, I have cell 0, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, cell 5, cell 6, cell 7, cell 8. So basically I'll have an array, and this array will contain a lot of characters. So let's say it contains X over here and 0 over here, and then it contains empty. So this means that the 0th cell is X and the 1th cell is O. Right? Then let's say if the user clicks on this becomes X. So then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth will become X. Are you guys understanding this? How many of you guys are understanding this? The fact that our game state will be an array, singular array. And over here, the first character will be the first cell, second cell, third cell, then fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. How many of you guys have understood this? Please tell me. Yes. Okay. So we will have that, and we'll have players. And what will be my players be? My players is just nothing but it's an object. Like I said, it will have a player 1 and it will have a player 2. Okay. We can even make this as an array, but an object also works fine. All right. Now let's write the start game function. Look at the start game function. The start game function says that firstly that players.player1. Player1 is that whatever is the document dot get in by id player1 value, and whatever is the document dot get in by id player2 value, that is player2. So basically we get the input values via this. So this is my way of getting the input values. Okay, this way I'll get the input values from the input, right? Player 1, player 2 were my inputs. Look at this. Player 1 and player 2 were my inputs. All right. So I get the value from the inputs. Either the user enters them or the user doesn't. If the user doesn't enter them, they'll be player 1 and player 2. So look at this. If I don't enter anything and if I start the game, it'll be player 1 and player 2. Right? So the default values are player 1, player 2. But if the user enters some name, we'll take that name. Then we need to say that the game start dot style dot display is none, meaning that the game start div is gone. The game start div is gone. What was the game start div? What was the game start div? This was the game start div. So whenever I click this div needs to go away and this div needs to show. What is this div? This div is the game board. So then I say that the game board needs to be shown, right? The game start div goes away, game board is shown, and then I say that the turn, this is the text, right? Then I need to show some text. So the text will say that whatever is the player one, that's person's turn. So whenever the game is starting, the game will always start with player one's turn. Yes, Prakash, you can definitely make it required. Okay. All right. Have you guys understood this? So then basically what happens is, look at this. What basically happens is, I need to get rid of this. Okay. So first I need to hide this also. So how will I hide this? I will be hiding this using, uh, I can hide this using my styling as well, honestly. So I'll just hide this using my styling, and it is display none. Let's see, why can I not see this then? We are seeing both the things, right? Just a second. Why is the display not none? Uh, Maybe by default I can say display none over here. Okay. All right. So by default it's not there. When I click on start game, then it is there. Okay. By default it's not there. When I click on it, start game, then it is there. All right. Is this clear to everyone? And whenever we start the game, the first player's turn will be player one's turn only, right? So player one will go first. That's a rule, right? We always start with player one. Okay. Now we need to write the logic of this. So if you pay attention, is everyone with me so far, guys? Please tell me if you guys are with me. We'll definitely be done by 1. Okay, great, great. So, all right. I would need more plus ones, guys. Come on. What happened to the Josh? Is everyone here? More plus ones, guys. Come on. We have so many people watching with us. I have a question. If first game is draw, players click on play again and the leaderboard to know who won the first. Yes, that is a very good suggestion. So DA is suggesting that we build kind of a leaderboard, that we keep a track of who won the first round, who won the second round. That is also something which is very doable. All right. Awesome. Great. Great suggestion, DA. I'll tell you how to do that as well. Okay. So now look at this. Now we need to understand how do we click these cells and make sure that our game plays. So if you notice in our index.html over here, I've given on click 0, on click 1, on click 2, right? Make move. So we'll make a function to make the move. And when we make the move, we have the cell which is being clicked. Is it the 0th cell? Is it the 1th cell? Is it the 2th cell? Now look at what will I do. Whenever I click a cell, what needs to happen? Whenever I click a cell, I need to fill this cell with this information, right? And I need to store it in my array as well. So what I will do is, I will just say that, okay, my make move function will basically do this. Okay, look at this. So I'll have a function to make my move. I am getting a number. Now you need to understand that, let me first get rid of this code. Okay. You need to understand that game state is just the array. So whatever cell is clicked, let's say 0, that means this needs to be filled with current player. What is current player? Current player is X, right? So X or O. So technically this will be X or this will be O. All right. So you need to understand that you need to show whatever is the turn, right? So we'll be filling this array, which is a singular array, and the index is the index of the cell which is clicked with the current player. What is current player? X or current sign or whatever is the current value, right? Then I will be getting that cell. So I will get all of the cells with this class name, and then I'll say the particular index, right? I'll say a particular index. And what does that mean? Whatever was the index, right? 0th cell meaning the first cell, 1th cell meaning the second cell. So whatever is that, then I'll fill that inner text with the current player value. So then basically what happens is that if this is my game, I can start my game and I can keep on entering values. Yes, Now, when I'm entering values, I told you that every time you enter a value, you need to check for something. Every time you enter a value, you need to check if the game has been won or not. Yes, do you guys remember that? That whenever we are entering a cell, we will immediately check, is there a pattern formed? So you need to check for the pattern. Do you guys remember that? That with every cell that we are filling, we need to check for the pattern that is being built. Right? Correct? Please tell me if you guys remember that. Because see, the moment a pattern is built, right? The moment a pattern is built, we need to end the game. We don't wait for the rest of the cells to be filled. The moment a pattern is built, we need to exit the game, right? We need to end the game. So basically, what you need to know is that as you're filling cells, every time you fill a cell, you need to check the result, right? So you need to check the result, and basically, to check the result, there's another logic that I've written, right? Now, this is where things get interesting. This is where the things get really, really interesting, and I'll tell you why. So I think till check result, everyone has understood. Yes, till check result, everyone has understood that with every move that we are writing, we need to check the result. I will explain check result code now to you. Don't worry about that. But till check result, has everyone understood? Okay, great. So now let's talk about check result. What did I tell you that how will the result be checked? Let's talk about it. Right? I told you that how will the result be checked, right? So I told you that there are 8 patterns. Do you guys remember the 8 patterns that I had built? Do you guys remember the 8 patterns I told you that we need to check for 8 patterns? Yes. So look at this. Now we know that this cell is 0. We know that this cell is 1. 1 second, I don't know what happened. We know that this cell is 0. We know this cell is 1. We know this cell is 2. We know this cell is 3. We know this cell is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, what are the patterns? The patterns are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if any of these patterns are built, we need to check that the value of 0, value of 1, and value of 2 needs to be the same. Then value of 3, 4, 5 need to be the same. Or 6, 7, 8 need to be the same. Agreed? Because if the pattern is x, 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 or 0, 0, 0, or x, 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 it becomes a pattern, right? So basically, when the cell number 0, 1, and 2 are the same value, or the cell number 3, 4, and 5 are the same value, or the cell number 6, 7, 8 are the same value, right? This is the first condition, correct? What do you guys think? Yes, one of the first patterns, right? Horizontal patterns. Either this is made, then the game will be won. Or if there is a vertical pattern. What are vertical patterns? 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, or 2, 5, 8. If any of these 3 vertical patterns are built, 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, right? Then also we'll get a pattern, right? What do you guys think? Yes? Okay. Or finally, if there is a diagonal pattern, which is 0, 5, 8, sorry, 0, 4, 8, and 2, 4, 6. So if the elements, so basically we need to check in our array, we have one singular array, guys. Don't forget that. We have an array containing this. We have an array containing. Could you try again? Sorry. So guys, don't forget about the fact that we have an array, which is our game state array. And this game state array has these positions 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which correspond to every cell. So all I need to check is that if inside this array 0, 1, 2 is the same. So if x, x, x is the same, this is the pattern. If 3, 4, 5 is the same, right? That means this are the same. Or if let's say 036, that means 0, 3 and 6th element are the same, right? So basically these are the indexes that I need to check. What do you guys think about this? Yes? Has everyone understood this logic? That we have an array of indexes. We just need to see that if the index 012 or the index 345 or the index 678 or the index 036 or the index 147 or 258 or 048 or 25246, whenever any of these patterns are built, right? Only then will we win the game. Yes, DA, exactly. Okay, so in our code, look at what we'll do. In our code, we'll first say that these are the conditions. It is an array of arrays and this contains 8 elements. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are the horizontal rows. 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8 are the vertical patterns. 0, 4, 8 and 2, 4, 6 are the diagonal. So these are the winning conditions. What we'll do is we'll make a flag saying that if the round is being won or not, we'll start a for loop. Inside the for loop, we'll go over each and every condition and then we'll say that A, B, and C. Okay, A, B, and C are the basically the three elements that are based on this array, right? Do you guys see this? So basically, we'll just say that if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, that means A is equal to C as well, right? So I don't technically need to say this, right? Basically, we are saying that if all the three are the same, the round is won. Else, just continue. If they're empty, then definitely continue. If any of them are empty, then continue, don't do anything. But if all three of them are occupied, right? Let's say 0, 1, and 2 are occupied. If 0, 1, and 2 are occupied, we need to check if 0, 1, 2 are empty. Because see, if even one of them is empty, we'll ignore. But if all of them are occupied, then we'll say that if they're equal, the round is won, else not. Then basically this for loop ends, and then we check, is the round won? If the round is won, we'll announce the winner. See, announcing winner is a separate function, but we'll declare that who has won. And we'll say game active is false. That game has ended. Else, if nobody has won, we'll say that, okay, if my entire game state, so see, game state was empty, right? So if none of these is empty anymore, if all of them are filled, this basically says that game state dot includes empty, right? If any of these are empty, good. If none of them are empty, that means that the game is drawn now because we none of them have won and all the cells have been occupied. That means game active false and announce the winner as draw, right? And if even this doesn't happen, right? So nobody has won, nobody has ended the game. Then all you need to do is switch the current pair. You need to say that if it was X's turn, now it will be O's turn. If it was O's turn, then it will be X's turn. And this is where you are switching the player. And this is where you're saying that, okay, now if the current pair was X, then it means that it is player one's turn, else it is player two's turn, else, and you will show the sign, right? Please tell me if you guys have made sense out of this. Is the logic clear? Again, we have an array of arrays and that array contains indexes. We see whatever index is ours. We see whatever index is ours. All right. Please tell me if this makes sense. Yes? Okay. Great. Sure, definitely, Ankit. So, Ankit, I'll keep your suggestion in mind. So, Ankit is saying that make a video on backend as well because 90% of AccioJob's content is basic JS projects. So, Ankit, you need to understand that once you're done with when you've become a master at front end, right, you will yourself be motivated to learn backend. So, we at AccioJob, we want to really push the beginner students because the beginning part is the hardest part. Once you're on that journey, then it's a never ending journey. Then you'll continue improving yourself, becoming a better developer. But it is the beginners who have no guidance, who need help, right? Does that make sense, Ankit? But I definitely agree we should have backend sessions as well, because a lot of people can use a lot of backend sessions, right? I will definitely take that input. All right. Anyways, let's continue, guys. So now we need to announce the winner, right? How do we announce the winner? It's just a function which just basically will show your game end display. It will say that the game has ended. It will say that the player, nobody's turn it is, right? The turns have ended. And you will just say the text that, okay, this, it is a draw, or that, the person winning is this, any person has both the, uh, one of the people have won, right? One of the two have won or has won. Correct. So that is it. And now I would like to show you guys something that we missed. So let's say this is happening, right? Now, if I player one's turn is there, I can click on this and it will become X. Look at this. I can rewrite. Ideally, I'm not supposed to be able to rewrite. So to handle that, you remember that we had deleted some code. So over here, I will only need to say that if the game state is empty, right? And the game is still active, only then will I write on the cell. Okay, if the state is empty, meaning game state index, sorry. If the current cell is empty, only then, and if the game is active, right? Only then will you basically play. Only then will you, change anything. So now look at this. I cannot rewrite. All right. And by the way, our game was won, but for some reason it didn't show that our game was won. The reason for that is because I believe. Why are we not checking? 1 second. Let's see. We'll have to see what's wrong. Hmm. It should have ended the game. Let's see. Maybe we have missed something. There's an error. Reading style announce error. Okay. Oh, this code is commented out. My bad. Now it will show. Yes. Let's play again. Let's try to play again. Wait. And I need to make sure that this is also not shown earlier. So what I'll do is I'll just say hashtag game end display none. Yes, winner is player one. All right. And restart game is not defined because there is another function, by the way, guys. So whenever you click on play again or restart game, you need to call a restart function. And this restart function, what it does is it basically restarts the game, right? It sets the current player as X. It makes sure that your game state is empty. It makes sure that your active is true. It makes sure that everything is reset, right? So this is a very important function to call. This will basically control the state of your resetting the game, right? So now if we restart the game, it'll get restarted. Yes. Again, let's see what is the issue. Just a second, guys. For some reason, I think I shouldn't have done this. And I'll just say game ended display none by here only. Yes, great. All right, now it's working. Awesome. Yes, and Ankit says, "Sir, I follow your channel from last 8 months, and now my basics is clear. So should you say right now this channel is not useful for me?" Ankit, not really. And Ankit, have you joined AccioJob, by the way, or do you just watch the, do you just keep yourself updated from the YouTube channel? So, Ankit, I agree with you, right? Because if you specifically want to go into the Java backend, right, we have a separate course for that. And okay, so Ankit, I would really suggest that you book a one-on-one free counseling session, because then you'll get to know all the other things that we do at AccioJob, right? Like I explained, the reason why we have these beginner-friendly sessions on YouTube is because we want beginners to learn from us, right? I mean, obviously, we want to push the beginners to get into this field. Since you're already in this field, you should really go talk to the counseling session, and you'll get a better idea of what you want to do. All right. And also I'll get the link for the certificate since we are done with making the app, right? So I believe now you guys, but it should pay. Yes, Ankit, it will definitely pay. And again, Ankit, since you already know so much, you should definitely go for the pay after placement batch, right? And you will definitely be able to clear it because I can see that you know your basics very well, right? In fact, right now there's a pay after placement batch going for the month of January. So what is pay after placement? Pay after placement is basically that you join AccioJob, you don't pay for the tuition fees, you learn with us, you upskill yourself, you get a job, and once you get a job, then you pay for the tuition fees, right? So basically, a certain percentage of your stipend that you're getting after the job, right, that will come to us for a year. Basically, on EMI only, you pay us back. Okay, in a year or 2 years, I don't know the exact details of that, but yes. So I think you should opt for that option. All right, you should definitely consider that. And guys, by the way, we'll be floating the certificate links because since the all we have made the game practically, so now you guys can get your certificates. But you will still have to stay till the next 10-15 minutes because I'll be deploying this. I'll be putting this code on GitHub and I'll be showing you guys how to share this game with your friends as well. Right? Okay. So please stay in the YouTube live. And right now, I'll give you guys the certificate link in just a second. All right. Ankit is saying, but make a video in VS Code shortcuts and extensions. Sure, sure, Ankit. I think that will be very helpful. So maybe the next masterclass can be an informative masterclass where we talk about shortcuts and extensions, right? Because I myself use a lot of shortcuts. Okay, so you guys can see that there is the link available for the certificates. All you need to do is just go to that link, fill in this Google form. It's a very simple form, takes in your email, takes in your name, and takes in your phone number. Again, guys, you will not get the certificate instantly. It will receive You will receive it on your emails because obviously we need to make the certificate as well, right? So you will not get the certificate instantly, but fill in the correct details and you'll get a certificate via mail, and you'll get it in a few hours. Okay, is that cool? So leave a +1 the moment everyone is done filling the certificate forms, and then we'll talk about GitHub and how to upload all of this on GitHub. Okay, so everyone again leave a +1. And if you're done with filling the form, it's a very simple form. Just email, name, phone number. That's it. You will get the certificates via your mail. Okay. Yes, pay after placement is provided, Vinay. That's why, Vinay, you should book the one-on-one counseling session. Okay. So if you scroll up, you'll see that there is a free one-on-one counseling session also that we're offering. Yeah. Yes. Let me see if I can send it again in the chats. Mm, so maybe we can. Okay, I have to connect this. Never mind. So maybe we can have the one-on-one session again so that you guys can join the one-on-one or book the one-on-one session, right? And again, guys, leave a +1 the moment you guys are done with. Yes, yes, fill the form right now. Okay, guys, fill the certificate form. It's above, right? It has been pinned at the top. So fill that form, and then we'll continue. So I see that DA has done it, Vinay has done it, Guli has done it, Prakash has done it, Hiram has done it, Shreyoshi has done it, Shruti, Ankit. All right. What about more students, guys? Sonia, you can also fill the form. You were there the entire time. Okay, great. Awesome. So most of you guys have done it. Now let's just quickly talk about how will you share this with your friends, right? So what you need to do is you will have to go to your GitHub, right? And you'll have to create a repository. So sign up on GitHub. It's free, right? I feel most of you guys know HTML, CSS, so you guys should know how to deploy a basic HTML, CSS website. So just go to your GitHub, click on this plus icon, create a new repository, right? Just a second. Create a new repository. That repository should be public. So you can name it Tic Tac Toe YT, right? Or whatever you want to. And it will be a public session. And then click on create repository. And since this is a public repository, you guys can add your files. So just upload existing files. No need to connect your GitHub like that. Just upload your three files. So go to the desktop. Over here, you'll see your three files, right? Just select these three files, open them, and upload them on GitHub, right? The moment you're done uploading them on GitHub, just commit these changes. And once you're done committing these changes, right over here, go to your settings, go to pages. Again, guys, I will just tell this once so you guys can note the time, around 1 5 p.m. Right? So you guys can rewatch this video. Obviously, this video will be there, so you can just refresh and rewatch it. So go to pages. Over here, you need to select main branch and click on save. The moment you do that, your deployment will start. How do I know the deployment has started? Refresh, and over here you'll see an orange dot. So when you see this orange dot, it means that your deployment has started. Okay, again, what are the steps? Create a public repository. Public repository, don't make it private. Then put all of this code. Yes, you can use my code only, Vinay. So the code has there on the notes, right? So the code which is there on the notes and the GitHub also, you can copy my GitHub and put upload this file in your personal GitHub. And once that is done, in about 2 minutes, right? In about 2 minutes, this repo will be published. So go to your pages and just continue refreshing. Sooner or later, it will be published, and the moment it is, it will show you that the site is live at so and so link. And this is the link where you can show, which you can show to your friends, and you guys can share this link with everyone, and everyone will be able to play tic tac toe, right? So you guys can now play tic tac toe with your friends, and you guys can show them that you guys can upload this on LinkedIn. You guys can show the certificate, upload this website on LinkedIn, and tag me also if you want to, right? And tag AccioJob definitely. So if you want, I'll share my LinkedIn and I'll share AccioJob's LinkedIn as well. So you guys can definitely tag us, and we will, obviously, we will also reshare. We will also comment and make sure that you guys get a good reach, right? So make sure to tag us on LinkedIn. Make sure to share your project, share your feedback, and yes, that is it. So within an hour, or in about an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we successfully built a tic tac toe game from scratch using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Yes, DA, go for it, right? So my GitHub link is over here only. So it's in the notes, right? So guys, where will you get the notes from? Again, for the last time, go to the YouTube video that you are already watching. Just scroll down, and in the descriptions over here, you see the notes, right? These are the notes. And in the notes, you guys definitely have your GitHub link. You have the deployed link. You have all of the code, all of the setup you need. All right. So I think that is it. We are done. Yes. Is everyone happy? How was the session? How was your 1 hour? Did you learn something this Sunday? And again, guys, one thing that I'll tell you is that we at AccioJob keep having such master classes every Sunday. So go to this live bar over here, and you guys can see the live sessions, or just go to playlists. And in your playlist over here, you'll see that there are these project building workshops. So we have also built calculators, Mario games, quiz apps, Sneak Game, LinkedIn clone, Spotify clone, Instagram clone, and most of them have been built by me only, right? And there are other AccioJobs great instructors as well who have done their bit of making other projects. And yeah, so DA, that's a very good point. Leaderboard. So what you can do, DA, is you can make an array, right? Make an array of leaderboard, and every time somebody wins, just put in that player 1 1. Then draw, then player 2 1. So on this side, you can just have an array, and in that array, you can just have this, whoever won. So 0 will be the first round, 1 will be the second round. Just keep on pushing whoever is winning, whoever is winning. So whenever you are announcing the result, yes, in this function where we are announcing the result, somewhere over here. So over here only you can have an array, right? Have a global array. Let's say winners, and this will be an empty array. And then what you can do is you can just keep on pushing the winners dot push, right? You can just keep on pushing whoever is winning, correct? And that's it. And then you can just show this later on, right? Cool. Okay, that's it. And I hope everyone enjoyed this session. Shall we end this class? You guys can go now, enjoy your Sundays, right? Everyone had a good Sunday afternoon, and I really appreciate all of you guys being here. I really suggest all of you guys go ahead and obviously get your certificates, fill in that one-on-one session, right? Especially you, Ankit. Especially you, I believe, Ankit, you should definitely book a one-on-one free session and talk to somebody at AccioJob, right? We'll definitely help you. All right. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope to see you guys soon. All right. See you next Sunday, hopefully, and you guys will be informed about whatever session we are having. Thank you so much, and I'll now end the session. It was great having all of you.